struggling to market to your ideal clientele with old branding that worked for you years ago? This branding gap is playing a huge role in your current client conversion rate, and you may not even know it. We've heard it all before. My website doesn't matter that much, or I'll get to it eventually, but years go by and yet you're still asking the same question. Why am I still working the same weddings at the same price point with no growth? So what does your current brand and website say about you? Does your copy actually captivate your ideal clientele, or are they quickly closing your site and connecting with someone else? It's time to give your brand some pampering at the Creative Cabana, your all-inclusive strategy and design studio. With over a decade of experience as wedding vendors, their full-service team knows exactly how powerful great branding can be for your business growth. Whether you need a complete brand refresh or just a touch-up with services like website design, brand identity, or copywriting, they've got you covered. And for filmmakers out there, they also specialize in logo animations so that your film can feel that much more elevated. This is something I just invested in, and it's brought an entirely new look to my films. So you poured your heart and soul into your business. Now it's time for a brand that connects with your customers on every level. Visit their website today and use our discount code WGY300 for $300 off your first project at creativecabana.co. Welcome to the We Got You podcast, a network curated for wedding photographers and filmmakers that dives deep into the strategies and tactics to transitioning a side hustle in the wedding industry into a full-time, thriving career. We're your hosts, luxury wedding filmmaker Emma K. Films and luxury destination wedding photographer Hannah Brook Photography. It wasn't too long ago that we picked up our cameras for the first time, having absolutely no idea where it would lead us. Years later, we're traveling the globe for beautiful destination weddings, build our dream lifestyles, and run multi-six-figure careers. It didn't happen overnight and it wasn't easy, but it is attainable and so worth it. And we're ready to teach you our strategies. Covering a variety of topics from both our firsthand experiences and reputable guest speakers' insights crucial for business growth, we're exploring the art of marketing within your niche, discussing effective ways to attract and retain clients, leverage social media, and build a strong online presence, and so much more. We're not shying away from talking through the challenges of the wedding industry and offering realistic solutions to navigate them successfully. We emphasize the importance of networking, establishing meaningful relationships with clients, and continuously honing one's craft to stand out in a competitive market. This is the We Got You podcast.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the We Got You podcast. I'm so excited to have you guys on here today with me. I hope you guys are having a great start to your Monday, whatever you guys are up to, whether that be working, sleeping in, traveling, whatever that looks like. I hope you guys are having a great start to your day. It is just me today on the podcast. If you guys are on video on YouTube or whatnot, you guys already know that. But for everyone listening in, you will not be hearing Emma's voice today. It's just me. I just wanted to really dive into today's episode. Honestly, I'm so excited about it. I feel like we've done several episodes when it comes to client experience in general or client experience leading up to booking, like what that looks like from inquiry to booking. Client experience as a whole when it comes to how you're communicating with your couples. I really wanted to dive into client experience specifically after your couple has booked with you. And honestly, what might be some mistakes that you could be making in your client experience process and how to improve them. And I want to premise this with, I genuinely know that everybody's client experience is so different and personalized and unique. And that's what makes it incredible. That is why couples choose different photographers and videographers. And so there is no one size fits all. I wish that there was a simple answer for everything, but I'm just going to really dive into it kind of from a photographer standpoint, doing high-end luxury wedding days. But if you guys have other niches or are a different vendor or whatnot, and you have other notes or things that you want to mention, please drop it into the Facebook group. Would love to hear from everyone. But yeah, just wanted to put that out there that we will be coming from a photography standpoint, but really just wanted to dive into that client experience post booking. I genuinely think that one of the most important pieces when it comes to the process, communication, your just workflow with a couple after they've booked with you is that first week or two once they have booked. I think a lot of people are putting so much energy as they should into the inquiry to booking. And then once they've booked, they're like, oh, I can just take a sigh of relief, step back. Okay, I can have my couple days off, which yes, you need. At the same time, though, I think a client's biggest fear is that they've given you, here's my credit card information, here's this retainer, I've signed the contract, and then like, okay, I hope that was a good decision. That's a lot of money. There's clients for retainers who are paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. They want to make sure that that is a good investment. And never once are they questioning if you're good at what you do, because obviously they booked with you. However, you just don't want to leave any room for them to question anything because you have booked with them. They are now part of your team. You get to be on at their wedding day. Like, you guys are now connected. And so I genuinely think these first couple weeks are some of the most important and like pivotal when it comes to your connection and relationship with your couples. I always, I try to, within the first week of them booking with me, send them out a personalized like thank you gift. Obviously, right once they booked with you, you should be sending a personalized like thank you email, thanking them for hiring you, having you be part of the wedding day, whether that's like moving forward with engagement planning or just excited to like be part of this and cannot wait. If you need anything from me, let me know. But something that is really special is for them to receive something physical, something in the mail, something unexpected. This is that classic under promise, over deliver. It's really important to be able to bridge that gap between them booking with you, doing engagement photos, having a call 2 months out, and then the wedding day. And this is one of those really incredible pieces where you can slightly like automate this as well. And what I mean by that is you don't have to go and completely, I'm not saying craft this personalized gift that's completely different for every single couple, but personalized as in you're not doing like a box fox with a printed letter that's just being sent to them and you have no say in the process. When I first started doing thank you gifts for clients, this is something that I started right once I started booking weddings. Like my first couple weddings, I was already sending mail to my couples because I love the significance and there's a word for it where it's the sentiment of something that's like handwritten or physical, especially from a vendor and somebody that you're going to get really close with. You're going to be the shadows on their wedding day. You're going to be around them 24/7. You're going to be with them more than their significant other. You're going to be with them more than their parents. Like, you guys are building this relationship, and before you know it, you're going to be very close with them. And so I used to, when I first started out, is I would, in my consult calls, I would just like slyly ask them where their favorite place was to go on date night, whether that be like a restaurant location, whatever that was. And if you don't have a chance to ask them on a consult call, I would put it into a questionnaire that I would send out to them. And then I would just write them a handwritten thank you letter with a gift card to their favorite place to go. It wasn't somewhere cliche like Olive Garden or something. It was I was calling the location, the dinner place, the restaurant that they love to go to, and I was getting a gift card sent to me so I could send it over to them. Something just like personalized. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive, but something just to kind of bridge that gap of like, you're already going above and beyond. And you haven't even showed up on the wedding day yet. They already knew you were going to be incredible. You're just reinforcing those thoughts for them. What I currently do is I currently do a box that I go to a local boutique and I get like a really beautiful candle. I get some little like matches that are white with little like XOXO on them, little like satin scrunchies, some chocolates, put that in there with a thank you card, and I send that over to my couples. I typically do the same gifts in the boxes. Sometimes they're just a little bit different, but it's nice because then I can like bulk buy the gifts, and I can go, one day a month and go buy, 4 boxes worth of gifts and get them ready for potential clients or people who are going to book. So then they can be sent out right when people are booking, and that can get to their doorstep. This is not a part of your package. It shouldn't be listed on your website, shouldn't be listed in your pricing guide. Again, this is something that you're under promising, over delivering, but it should still be built into the price of your package. This isn't something that should come out of your pocket. And so, yeah, if you guys have other welcome gift ideas, I think you should totally throw them into the Facebook group. Let everybody know, share maybe what you're doing or maybe some links to some things that you're sending to couples. It's very interesting because I have had a conversation with some people who have said, oh, I don't need to send anything because I don't want to like schmooze. Like, they already picked me. Like, I'm not trying to schmooze to anyone or like suck up to anyone. And while I do understand that, I think there's difference with the intention behind it. I'm not sending any of this to schmooze or suck up to anyone. They've already booked me. I've got their credit card. I don't have to send them anything. but I want them to know they're not just a date in my calendar. I only take on 15 weddings a year. So I have the time. I have the time to be intentional. And the whole reason I only take on 15 weddings a year is so that I can be more intentional with my wedding days and that I can be more intentional with my couples and that relationship that I'm fostering with them. If you're swimming under 30 weddings a year, maybe that's looking like a card that you're handwriting and sending out to them. With like a coffee gift card or something. It could be as little or as big as you want it to be, but it just really truly is that one of those first steps of like, okay, you've already booked me and I'm still impressing you. None of what I did before you booked me was for show. This is truly who I am and what my business is. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the process between them booking and the wedding day. I think that this is a really fun time because you're really getting to know your couples and create that relationship, foster that, learn a lot about them, anticipate the wedding day, which is so exciting. But at the same time, I know it can be really hard to juggle when it comes to check-ins and timeline help and what all you need to do with your couples beforehand. And again, this is where it really goes into there's no generalized answer. There's no right or wrong. However, I do see the mistake a lot of times of people not having enough communication. And I will say this, a couple will not mind if you're constantly checking in with them as long as it's not like giant long emails and whatnot. However, they will notice if you're not checking in with them at all. If they have to be the one to initiate a check-in and be like, hey, I just wanted to like send you this or like see if you need anything from me, they're going to have to think that, okay, I've got to check in with them on the wedding day. Am I going to have to be checking in on them? Am I going to have to be making sure that they're getting the shots I want? It's going to start creating that doubt. So a really, really great way to keep that confidence and trust that they've already built in you is to initiate those check-ins with them. I don't always do engagement sessions with my couples because now a lot of my couples are out of state, international, not where I am, where it's not feasible to do an engagement session with them. But for the couples that I am doing the engagement session with, that's a really, really great way to keep that communication going of checking in with them about when they want to do engagement photos, planning those engagement photos, maybe a month before engagement photos, sending out a what to wear guide, having that engagement photo date. And that is a really great way to keep that communication up to probably like 6 months before the wedding day, 4 months before the wedding day, whenever you're doing those engagement photos. If you are not doing engagement photos, I will say couples don't need you to check in with them every couple weeks or even every month. But I do try to at least every 2 months send over an email, check in with them, see how everything's going, how the wedding planning is, and offer, hey, if you guys want to hop on a call, I'd love to chat with you. If not, absolutely no worries. I just wanted to see if there's anything else that I could do for you guys. I'm excited for your wedding day. As I get closer to the wedding day, 2 months before the wedding day, I am always sending out a questionnaire to my couples. And what this questionnaire is it is asking for the timeline that their planner has created. If I have not already talked with the planner and gotten that timeline from them, it's just asking for a link if they have it. And if it's completed, it's asking for a family who they would like in their like shot list and their family photos. It is asking details for the wedding day, if there's any traditions or anything special that's going to be happening. These are all those really important things for you to know before the wedding day so that you can be prepared. This is genuinely to help you. And I really, truly believe that when in HoneyBook, when you create a questionnaire and you can have that be something that's automated and you can personalize the email to the couples, it is so, so, so beneficial to spend that time creating it, sending it out, and when it comes to what you're gaining from that. I will a lot of times build my team around what I have learned from their consult call and then from this questionnaire. So typically my team's already built by the time I send out this questionnaire, but a lot of times they're moving things around on their wedding day up until a few months before their wedding day. And so this is a great way for me to be able to check that and pivot if I need to add team members, change things, have my second start in a different location on the wedding day, whatever that looks like. And then if you are not working with couples who have planners, another great check-in would be timeline help, checking in for timelines. I would recommend doing that about 4 months before the wedding day. My first couple years, I did create timelines for my couples because a lot of them didn't have planners. And so 4 months before the wedding day, I would check in with timeline. I'd send out a questionnaire and get all of their details for their wedding day, create a timeline and get it approved by them, and then just like constantly be tweaking that up till the wedding day. So the process, I'm just going to like go through it one more time for you guys. Starting with that thank you of sending something physical over to your couples. And then after that, engagement planning, a what to wear guide. You're doing the engagement session. a check-in email, seeing how they're doing. I do a 2-month before questionnaire. And then on that email, I ask if they'd like to hop onto a call. Sometimes they don't, and that's totally okay. Again, this is whatever they need. I'm not trying to be pushy or be needy in their eyes, but if they're able to hop on a call, this is another great way to be able to gauge how they're feeling, how they're doing. Ask any questions that you have, see if there's anything else that they haven't put on any of your questionnaires or tuned you into that you can gain from that, and really just like listen to them and see how everything's going. And then before the wedding day, the week before the wedding day, I always send a text to my couples of just, I'm excited to see you guys next Saturday, June 9th. I don't know if that's a Saturday, but just like reiterating that date. And again, so they don't have to worry about you. Are they going to worry about you? We don't know. I have had some couples who I feel like they forgot I even existed because I would check in with them and sometimes I wouldn't get responses. But on the wedding day, it was like, oh my God, we're so excited you're here. And I've had some couples who have like told me, some of my friends who have had photographers who they're like, dude, like, I am worried that like, are they going to come to the wedding day? You know, are they going to show up? I haven't heard from them. And so you don't want to be that photographer. You don't want to be that videographer. You don't want to be that vendor, period. And so just really being confident and keeping that trust that you have built with them throughout that process, keeping that communication is so, so, so important. Again, this client experience when it comes to post booking is what a lot of their friends are going to hear about, friends are going to see, their bridal party. Everyone is going to know to some degree how you've worked with the couple. If it is something that is negative, the bride is likely going to be venting and saying that to all of her friends. If it is something that is very positive, it's very likely that they know that as well. And again, when it comes to couples, and what they're saying about you, that is your reputation and that is what's going to get you referrals. And so really just remembering that this time is also a spot to be fostering client experience. It's not just for, you know, post-wedding day, oh, I sent you the photos, or pre-booking of like, oh, book me. You know, it is truly that entire process of building that relationship with them.
Does your current client delivery system feel unexciting, limiting, and boring? Maybe you're still using good old Google Drive or Dropbox to deliver your clients' wedding films. If the answer to these is yes, it's time to level up your video delivery experience with VidFlow. VidFlow is a pay-per-use online platform that allows you to deliver fully branded websites for each of your clients. While being incredibly affordable, VidFlow is accessible on mobile, desktop, and smart TVs with included long-term hosting so that your clients can truly enjoy the entire experience when receiving their wedding films. When I first found VidFlow, it was such an easy switch that truly benefited my business substantially. With so many incredible features and options for customization and personalization, VidFlow continues to wow my clients time and time again. You can find VidFlow on Instagram or visit their website at vidflow.co. Use our code WGY20 for 20% off a yearly premium membership and level up your client experience today with VidFlow.
Now to jump into the wedding day, really, truly be prepared before you show up. I think that if there's one thing we've talked about with the process up to the wedding day, it is getting that information that you need from them, you know, finding out who's in the family list, finding out what their mood board is, what their inspiration is, you know, what their style, what their vibe is and everything. Arriving early. I know some photographers who have, I don't know if it's a chip on their shoulder or what it is, but they're like, well, I'm not going to show up early because I didn't get paid for it. And that just breaks my heart because showing up early is not, this sounds like selfish, but we all know this is true. Showing up early is not for the couple. Showing up early is for you. This is time to help you to get that extra, you know, photos of the space that you need without everybody walking around it, to get a lay of the land. So when the client asks you where the first look's going to be, you know, and you don't look like stupid, you know? This time is for you to get to meet up with the vendors, to get to meet the planner, to get that FaceTime with her. This time is for you to get to meet up with the bride 10 minutes before you were supposed to show up. So again, she's not having to say, is the photographer here yet? She knows you're here. You've had that FaceTime. You've checked in. You're looking around the space. This time showing up is for you. Be selfish with it and take that time. I know a lot of people just are stingy about, well, I'm not going to show up because I'm not getting paid for it. Well, that is doing you in the long run a disservice on the wedding day. You want to be educated on the space, even if it's a venue you've been to before. Maybe it's a different season. Maybe they're having a ceremony in a different location. There's so many different variables to every wedding day that I think one thing everybody in the world can agree on is that wedding days are so different, that this time can only benefit you, especially if you're shooting with a second shooter that maybe you haven't really worked with before. This is a really great almost crash course with like getting to know them, working together, entering the space together, and everything. So truly on the wedding day, the best thing that you can do is arrive early and checking with the bride and groom, meeting the planner. Remember that you are here for them and to do the best that you possibly can for them, not for Instagram, not for the paycheck. I mean, I think we've all learned that if we were only in this for the money, we all probably would have quit around year 1 or 2 of running a business, because in those first couple years, you have a never-ending to-do list of just a million things that you've got to do, and websites and Honeybook and things you're paying for and domains and taxes and everything, where it's very easy to burn out if you're doing this just for the money. We're doing this for the couples. We're doing this to create. We're doing this for the art. We're doing this because this is where our passion is. And so if we can be better by showing up an hour early, why wouldn't we? Okay. Rant over. I wanted to jump into then post-wedding day. I don't want to talk too much on the wedding day because I feel like we all I don't want to say have it down when it comes to client experience on the wedding day, because I truly think we can always grow and learn in it. But I do think that we talk about it so much more than we do prior and after the wedding day. So I want to just spend a little bit more time on the post-wedding day aspect of that. But post-wedding day, let's chat about delivery. So I think one of the biggest questions is, what is your delivery platform? One of the biggest questions, some of the biggest questions, let me rephrase that, is what delivery platform are you using? What is the timeline that you're delivering in? What does your process look like with communication with your couples post wedding day? If you sense a theme at all, it's probably that communication is incredibly important. The one massive most important thing from them booking you to the wedding day is the communication. After the wedding day, the communication, and of course the delivery of the final product. But that communication is so important because, again, you are continuously showing them. You're not proving to them because they already know you were worth the investment when they hired you. That's the reason they paid for you. But you're continually showing them why they are right. And again, everything that you do is going to reflect into their reviews, into how they're referring you, into your reputation. So post-wedding day, the platform that I always use is PickTime. I am sending out sneak peeks within 48 hours of the wedding day. I always try to send them out the following morning, and get those sent out to them. I send them at least 50 sneak peek photos so that they can have them right away, a couple from each part of the wedding day. And then I let them know. Like, remember, this is their wedding day. This is not Hannah rules everything. Hannah is the one who decides everything. Like, this is their wedding day. I truly want them to be as happy as possible with what they're getting. So I let them know if there's a photo or something specific from their wedding day that they really want in that sneak peek, let me know. I will add it. No problem. Maybe mom's birthday's coming up and they want a shot with mom. Or maybe they have a friend reunion or whatever that looks like and they want some more wedding party or some specific friends at the reception. Like, I'm more than happy to add as many as you want throughout the process of editing sneaks to the full gallery delivery, because again, this is their wedding day. I'm doing this for them. I want them to be happy, and chances are if they're asking for a photo, they're going to share it, which means they're sharing your work, which means they're sharing your name and they're sharing your brand, and that is third-party marketing for you. So you really cannot go wrong there, and it only takes a few extra minutes to do that for them. But again, is something that's really special, and I feel oddly like it's unique for some photographers. I think that's one mistake that some people do, is that they're not flexible with their couples. It's a very rigid, stick to the contract. And I think that the more flexible you can be within the boundaries that you've set, the more they're going to see this as a good relationship instead of just I paid money to you, you did a service for me. My full gallery delivery is delivered within 4 to 5 weeks. And I will be very honest, the year after COVID was the year that everything went crazy with wedding days. That was the very first year that I ever delivered a gallery late. And this is so embarrassing to admit, but I actually cried about it. I was like, just so upset that I had taken on too much and I had felt overwhelmed, and I was delivering a gallery late, and what were they going to think, and how are they going to feel? And what has been the big theme of today's episode? Communication. what I did is right before, I'd say like a week before their gallery is due, I let them know that their gallery is not done and it's probably not going to be done for another 2 to 3 weeks. I know that adds on like 150% of the time that they're waiting, but I told them I want to craft something that is valuable for you. I don't want to rush this to get this to you in a certain day when you're going to have this for the next 50 years. 50 years, that's a long time, which means it's probably okay if you take a couple extra weeks to finish it. Like, you want it to be the best. And every single response that I got from couples who I had to back up their wedding gallery delivery, every single couple was like, please take your time. I would much rather you take your time and deliver something that is, you know, what your work looks like and how beautiful it is and intentional than have it feel rushed and get a gallery back that maybe could be missing some pieces or some intentional details or whatnot because I didn't spend enough time on it. And I will say, you guys should always add buffer time into your gallery deliveries. My typical delivery is about 2 to 3 weeks, but I'm saying 4 to 5 to give myself that buffer. It was just that one really crazy year where everything kind of went lopsided and I was delivering a little bit later than expected. But again, that communication with them is so important. And so if you know that your delivery is going to be late, make sure you're communicating with them. You don't want to be that photographer who they haven't sent me my photos back yet. Because here's the thing, you could be one of the best photographers in the world, but the second a bride tells you, oh yeah, they're so great, but like it took them like months extra to get my photos back and they like didn't like let me know or respond to me or whatnot. I mean, they're probably going to check you off of, I'm not going to inquire with them. Like, that's a big deal, especially when that is going to overshadow the work that you have done. You don't want that to be something that overtakes what you've done and accomplished and given to that couple and that experience that you've created. So just really being as communicative as possible. And then once I've delivered their full gallery, within about a week or two, I am then also delivering a client box that has photos, prints from their sneak peeks, and then a thumb drive in it. I get the thumb drive and the box from Rospins. It's Rospins. And then I get my prints from Artifact Uprising. And those are just incredible quality, and I send that over to them. I do let them know that they will be getting a digital copy of all their photos, a physical copy of all their photos and a thumb drive, so that I don't know if they forget to download. I mean, my galleries stay up forever, but in case they forget to download and then they lose the link and then they're really confused, they always at least have that physical copy so that they're never scrambling for their wedding photos or having that like second of panic of, did I lose my entire wedding gallery? Like, they've always got a few ways to access it and they can always reach back out to me for it. But yeah, communication is so important. While you're editing to their gallery, and maybe you're a videographer while you are working on their film, I think a really beautiful way of letting them know that they are still a priority to you, even though the wedding day is past, even though you're not doing check-in emails, even though you're not like trying to get them to book you. A great way once the wedding day is over is to share on your Instagram about their wedding day, whether that is in the feed or in your stories, or maybe that's a behind the scenes of you editing some of their photos or whatever that looks like. Just sharing that and them that's not a requirement and they know that's not a requirement, yet you're doing it anyway and you're proud of that work and their photos or, you know, their wedding day is on your gorgeous feed or it's in your story, you know, like everybody loves to be gushed about. So that is a really great way for them to feel loved in another way that's very honestly easy to do. And if it's not a portfolio wedding, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it might not fit my feed. It might not, you know, work well with my feed or grid or whatever. Maybe that wedding is going to be a blog that you're sharing about. Maybe that wedding is, again, sharing behind the scenes of editing. Maybe it's sharing a couple photos. Whatever that is, even like 1 or 2 photos makes a difference, and they notice that. After their wedding day, I've already delivered their gallery, their thumb drive, their prints and everything. After that full delivery, on their 6th month anniversary, I send out an email basically just saying like, happy 6 months, happy half year, like so excited for you guys. If there is any way that I can get a review from you guys and just hear about how your experience was, I would absolutely love to hear your feedback. Like, your words mean so much to me. And in their 6-month email that I'm asking for a review, I think this is really important because I don't want to bombard them right after the wedding day. I do know this is very, I feel like not controversial, but very different for photographers. Some people are asking for reviews right after sending a full gallery, which is totally okay. Because at that point, your couples are ecstatic. They're on an adrenaline high. They're excited and they're ready to write gushy words about you, which is amazing. I take the stance of, I want them to, I want this to be a long-term relationship. I'm in no rush. I want them to remember that I'm reaching back out to them. I remembered their 6 month. That's something really special because here's the thing. Nobody celebrates 6 months except for the one who got married 6 months ago. I don't think I, on any of my friends' 6 month anniversary, ever said anything. I never remembered. But when it was my 6 month wedding anniversary, I was posting wedding photos, so it's a big deal still to the bride and groom. And so on that day, I want them to know hey, I remembered, maybe other people didn't, but I remembered that this is important. And I would also just love to hear some of your words of how the relationship was, how we worked together and everything. Some couples also send Christmas presents to clients. I cannot say I've done that in the past, but I do know some people will send ornaments or Christmas cards or whatever you would like. That's a really great way to still keep that relationship going. Continuing to engage in social media, whether that's liking their posts, commenting on their stories or whatnot. Again, really great to continue having that long-term relationship because basically our goal when it comes to building this relationship is that it's not the last time we ever see them or work with them. Your goal when it comes to fostering this relationship a lot of the time is to then be able to photograph them in the future, to photograph their friends, and maybe they're in the wedding, or maybe it's photographing their anniversaries. Whatever that looks like, this is a really great way to build forever clients by having that lasting relationship. So yeah, turning them into lifetime clients basically. But yeah, I don't know if I went off on a rant or what, but I'm really genuinely think when it comes to just the entire post-booking client experience, a mistake people make is they're not communicating, they're not adding effort like they did before the booking, and they're not sharing and loving and gushing on their couples and really showing them that they're a priority. So hopefully kind of what we went over when it comes to post-booking to the wedding day, and then post-wedding day was a little bit helpful. Like I said, if you guys have any other tips or tricks or things that you have find useful, or maybe that's what welcome gifts you guys do or thank you gifts you guys do, put them in the Facebook group. Would love to have this be a conversation and for you guys to share your thoughts or what worked well for you all. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. It has been incredible. I want to say it's been great talking to you. I've literally been staring at myself on a computer screen, so I wish I could see you all. But anyway, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys next week on the We Got You podcast.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the We Got You podcast. We would absolutely love it if you could take an extra minute to leave us a review and let us know what you think. DM us a screenshot of it and we'll send you a coffee on us. If you want access to an exclusive community, rad freebies, giveaways, and wedding referrals, then join our Facebook group today. Also, if you aren't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure that you're following along on Instagram at WeGotYou_podcast to stay up to date. We'll see you next week on the We Got You podcast.